So this is Transference, Ubisoft's little VR game that they presented at E3 when they had Elijah come out and show off his company's new game coming up. It is a virtual reality world gone wrong where a family uploaded their consciousness to this digital world and something horrible happened. Now, a few disclosures out the gate. One, this copy was provided for free by Ubisoft, and I did play in PlayStation VR. However, the footage you're seeing is just from a stock PS4, not in VR mode. Capturing VR tends to be a bit of a pain because of the shaky cam effect, since it's all immersive and the camera tilts where your head goes, and it just looks bad. But visually, it should maintain the same style. Now, what Transference is as far as gameplay goes, I'm hesitant to call it a walking simulator because there's a lot of negative connotations along with that, but it kind of sums up what you got going on here. You're in this world, you're exploring it to kind of piece together what happened with this family, what went wrong. And it's kind of light on the puzzles. There are a few in here, but for the most part, you just find items, stick it in key like that, and progress, as you can see from the video here. A lot of variance themes of that, rather than keys, though it could be magnetic letters or dialing to the right radio frequency or spelling out the right name in magnets. None of the puzzles are overly complex, but they are here. But don't go into this expecting an adventure game, though. I will give this warning right now. If you're a bit sensitive to abusive situations and abusive home life, you might not want to play this one if it's something that brings up bad memories, because most of the story is told through these video files you find recorded by the father. And some of them are light, and they're talking about his obsession with trying to find a way to create a virtual reality world where you can upload your contents to. But some of them show that he is more than a little unhinged. It becomes very apparent very quickly. So just keep that in mind, that it's not a happy family. There are some elements of horror here. You're going to see something a little bit scary coming up soon. But for the most part, it's very, very light on the horror. There's a couple jump scares, but it doesn't go nearly as in-depth as it should. In fact, the entire game feels a little short, in my opinion. When it comes to story and just the scares in general, I could have used a couple more hours to flesh things out. As it stands, this game will take, I think I finished it in one sitting, going about 2.5 to 3 hours. It's quick. It's real quick. And for the price of $25 currently, that might be a turnoff for a lot of people. Gameplay. It is an escape room-esque kind of game. That's why it's a little bit more than a walking simulator. Escape room, I think, is the best phrase I can do for it. That light switch you saw there, for example, is going to alternate you between 3 different copies of the same world, each from a different perspective of the characters that are involved in the family. And you need to be dragging items from one perspective into another and put them where they need to go to advance. Some rooms are just going to be locked in until you find the right trigger to get the hell out, etc. For being kind of sold as a horror game, it is very short on scales. I think I was mentioning that, or scares. I think I was mentioning that earlier. They could have gone a lot deeper with when you see that weird red digital monster charging that you've seen a couple times so far. They could have gone a lot farther with that. They could have made it a lot spookier, but the crux of the game isn't a horror game. It's about this family that's trapped and getting them out. So it pulls a little bit of a Gone Home, where they kind of sell it as a horror game, but in reality, it's not. It's something else entirely. Though, unlike Gone Home, this actually does have some scary moments to it, and it's legitimately engrossing. I was trying to dig really hard to find out what happened to this family by tracking down all the tapes. I want to say there's like 10 to 15 of them in the entire game. I think I found 9 or 10 of them. I didn't find all of them. And that's where the story is delivered from. Keep in mind, it is not going to be all that coherent, even if you do find a lot of the logs. Maybe I'm missing the one that ties it all together. I don't know. But the story is kind of there for you to piece together as opposed to being laid bare. Being a VR game, there's always the question of, I don't have VR. Should I play this? And my answer in that case is no. If you do not have access to a VR headset, be it the Rift, the Vive, PlayStation VR, pass this game by. It is tailored for VR. A lot of the scares and the ambiance is designed for people playing in VR, and it's just not going to transfer well over to the console version. I cannot recommend it if you don't have a VR headset. But if you do have a VR headset and you like weird, creepy escape room like gameplay, and if the setting is speaking to you, and I'll admit the setting's kind of cool. I like the idea behind it. This mad scientist essentially who created this world and it's gone horribly wrong and they're trying to piece it together. I love that idea. I love the setting. The plot to it I actually really enjoyed. The premise behind it's cool. I just wish they would have expanded on the 2.5 hours that I had to 3 hours that I had here. $25 is a hard sell for me right now, but I will give it a tepid recommendation if you're just really craving a good VR game and you haven't had one in a while. It's nice to see that they're still making things for VR and that the headset's still supported. But as I said before, if you do not have a VR headset, this is a hard pass because this game relies a lot on the ambience and being fully immersed into the world of Harmony Labs and what's going on here. It's just not something I can recommend if you don't have a VR headset. Anyways, that was my quick little review for Transference. Once again, this copy was provided free by Ubisoft, and it is being played on a PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 4 VR. If you like what you see here, feel free to follow, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you next time.